I'm sure we all know how it feels to feel awkward in social situations. Whether it's at a party or a family gathering or just meeting someone new for the first time, the feeling of feeling judged can just be really overwhelming. It could be just really difficult to figure out what to say in conversations. And I know this all too well because I am a socially awkward person. I find it really hard to make conversation, maintaining eye contact, not good at that. I mean, even the simple task of ordering food or asking for help can just be really intimidating. But I'm also someone who strives to be more social and make meaningful connections with others. So talking about my socially awkwardness is, I guess, just something that I have to just put out there for people to understand. Adjusting to these past few years has been difficult for pretty much everyone, but I feel those that are more naturally socially awkward, the pandemic kind of gave us this strange sense of relief. For once, we didn't have to worry about making polite small talk, dealing with large crowds, or trying to make a good impression. We can just hide in our homes and not have to worry about any of that. But now that things have, I guess, gotten normal again, whatever normal even means, I feel like a lot of us that have been socially awkward and got this sense of relief are now having to jump back in and act normal again. And it's put a lot of pressure on us. It's like all the hesitation and anxiety that came with being a socially awkward person has now resurfaced and 10x'd. And that sense of relief we all had that we could just kind of isolate ourselves when needed and that was looked at as normal is no longer there, and we're kind of expected to go back out into the world and pretend like nothing ever happened. For me at least, it's not just the fear of social gatherings because I like going out and being with friends, but it's more so the anxiety that comes along with it. From the anxiety waiting for the phone call to know exactly what we're gonna do, and then plans change 10 times before you finally decide they're gonna go with the option that neither of us were really excited about in the first place. And then having to wear something you didn't even wanna wear because what you initially thought you were gonna wear is still in your laundry and you don't have time to put a load in and get that even sorted out. And this whole time you're interacting with people, and that's really the most exhausting thing for me. Just answering texts or calls, it's just very daunting from time to time. And as an introvert, my energy is just drained so quickly by the end of this process that by the time I actually go out and meet with everyone, I'm already ready to go home. Once I'm there, I have to put on a face and act like this was the thing I was looking forward to most this week. But the part I dread the most is once I'm actually there and I'm having to engage in small talk with people that I've met maybe once, or people that I'm just now meeting that are mutual friends of other people that I've met just once, and just trying to find common ground in conversation that I just did not want to have from the very start. The amount of energy it takes just to remember that person's name is already more than I'm willing to give, and then having to pretend like I care about their sign or their holiday plans is just a whole nother mess in itself. This is just such an uncomfortable situation to be in, and I know this is super relatable to anyone else that is also socially awkward, so welcome. You're not alone in this. In regards to the setting, for me, small talk is just one of those things that I just try to avoid at all costs. I don't like feeling uncomfortable in social situations. If I'm there with someone, I'm probably latched onto them most of the night because they're my crutch in a sense. And when I'm with those friends that I truly trust and enjoy their time with, I'm a lot more open to meeting new people and building connections because I know that there's opportunities where things unexpected could come out of it that you actually are really happy that they happened. And it's funny because there's been so many examples where I've gone out of my comfort zone and I have, say, went to an event by myself out of state and I end up making a lot of friends, and where if I would have overthought it, I wouldn't have gone. And then I'm reminded that, see dude, like you're not weird, or you're weird, but you're not like so weird that people don't want to be friends with you. You're just mostly in your head. But that reminder never really seems to stick around because it always kind of recycles to the next time I want to go out in a social situation, and then I just feel socially awkward again. So if you've ever felt at a place in a conversation like you don't fit in, like no matter what you're gonna say is going to come out wrong, you're not alone in this. I've experienced these same exact emotions and cycles that comes along with being inherently socially awkward. But I also come to realize that social awkwardness doesn't have to be a barrier. It doesn't have to limit your interactions with people. With a little bit of effort and just putting yourself out there and deciding that you're going to go ahead and do this, you can in fact like make meaningful connections while being socially awkward. In my pursuit of overall bettering myself in every aspect of my life, my mental, my physical, my financial situations, I just like to push things head on. And when I feel like I have a self-limiting belief, I like to face it. I don't want to try to mask my awkwardness and just pretend like it's not there, but rather just expose myself to that environment with my awkwardness and kind of see what happens. I guess you can say I'm using it as fuel to push myself to become more confident in these social situations. So the past 2 years or so, where the world has essentially opened back up for business and people are going out more and engaging with each other, not so much on a virtual basis only, it's forced me to change a lot. Before I saw my awkwardness as a problem, as something that people would judge me for or wouldn't want to be around me for because I'm a weird guy. And so I'll just face these social gatherings head on as much as I can. And even if my awkwardness takes the spotlight and I say something really weird or there's just a long pause of awkward silence, I just kind of laugh it off and embrace it and not just overthink these situations. And although these uncomfortable moments can feel isolating and embarrassing, it's just important to remember that they don't define us. They're really just a part of the journey of sculpting who you are as a person and learning to love yourself and those around you. It's remarkable that just everyone has their own unique experiences and perspectives on the world around us, even our neighbors who are effectively only a few feet from us, but yet their worldview is entirely different than ours. So although it's challenging to open up and be vulnerable with everyone, it's just important to remember that what you think is happening could be different from how they perceive what is actually happening too. So if I can leave anything for you guys, it's just be okay with who you are and don't be afraid to show your true colors. Even if you fail at a social interaction, it's not the end of the world. It takes a lot of bravery and vulnerability and energy and risk to put yourself out there to meet new people and be okay with not knowing how that conversation is going to flow. But if you embrace the positive aspects of those social interactions, it could open up the opportunities to learn something new that you didn't know before, or to make friends that you didn't have yesterday that you could have for decades from now. I feel like the benefit of making a new friend has outweighed the cost of coming off socially awkward in those interactions. And instead of worrying so much about who I am and my awkwardness, I try to just put all the focus on that individual. And maybe they won't even think you're socially awkward. Maybe because you are just so focused on learning about them and you're just embracing what they have to offer that they're not even gonna see that social awkwardness in you. Maybe they think they're socially awkward. Another thing that's really helped me get out of my shell is to not let that narrative of feeling socially awkward prevent me from taking risks and putting myself out there. I feel like there's so many people that feel like because they're this, therefore they can't do that. And I've never wanted to be that person to feel like I'm incapable of doing something because I have an inherent belief about myself that's preventing me from doing this. I feel like it's totally possible to acknowledge your awkwardness, but not let that define who you are. The journey of self-acceptance isn't always an easy one. It's difficult to be vulnerable and talk about these subjects to strangers, and it's something that takes a lot of time. But I'm talking about it now, and I can honestly say that I'm happy with who I am, and honestly, I'm happy with my awkwardness. I know I'm a weirdo, but that's kind of what makes me unique. If you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you have not, and check out this next video coming up. I appreciate all you weirdos out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. I found that the benefit of making a new friend outweighs the cost of coming off socially awkward in an interaction.